Okay. So let's briefly talk about the Turkish 100th anniversary, which happened in late October. I am currently doing a series of episodes, rather, interviews with experts on Turkey, both inside and outside, looking at it from different angles. Now, the basic question is, what personally would you say about the Turkish 100th anniversary before I ask you more critical questions?
Well, you are asking a Turkish Cypriot, which a Turkish Cypriot is not part of Turkey, but has very close relationship with Turkey. We are happy that Turkey is living the 100 years, and a century of age. We are celebrating it as, one of the things about the Turkish states till now in the world history, it is one of the exceptional, let's say, ethnical background that in their life, they always establish their own republics, their own states, and never became under control of another state or power, let's say. So they
were not colonized by any Western power?
Yeah. Turkey never colonized by any external power. So this 100 years.
You feel proud?
Yes, as a Turkish Cypriot, we again share the proud of Turkey that 100 years has passed and still Turkey is one of the important actor in the Middle East, in not just in region, but we might also say globally. It's like, think about family, okay? You might feel proud of your family members, your aunt, and so forth, but it's still relative to you, but you can feel the proud. You live differently and so forth. It's like that. It's like that. Of course.
So you consider Turkey as a motherland?
Yeah, we have a strong relationship with Turkey. To say motherland is quite a different thing. If you say motherland, this means that the whole population comes from there. Now, before I can talk about, my father, say that we are actually, our ancestor comes from Turkey. However, if you think about it, it is with the Ottomans in 1400, something like that, that come and conquered the island, 1400s, 14th century. From that time on, there are always a population movement from Ottoman state and from actually many places. But I don't know them.
Okay.
I born in 75. Right. I born in northern part of Cyprus. And this is my reality. So this is how I feel like. This is my country. This is my place. So Turkey is another country, which actually another country which help us a lot. But of course,
how did? Okay,
of course, this relation is not about dependency. It's interdependent relation. It's we benefit from Turkey, Turkey benefit from us, and it goes like that. In one point of history, most probably, if this situation continues, if there is no agreement, what is going to happen is that the North Cyprus really going to become part of Turkey, because of moving population, immigrants, and so forth.
Okay. So
I
how
mean,
did the people of Cyprus, especially the northern, the Turkish Cypriots, how did you people celebrate the Turkish anniversary? Were there some activities and official ceremonies by the government there?
yes, we have. I mean, we have officially we are celebrating with bands and so forth. We have even national holidays on that day. I mean, yeah, we are
Good.
celebrating. We are celebrating.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the political system of government that is taking place in Northern Cyprus. Is it a democracy? Are you guys democratic?
Now, that is very, very perspective question. We are talking, you and me right now, talking about democracy, isn't it?
Yes.
But we don't know democracy. Neither you nor I. We don't know the meaning of democracy because we didn't live through the process of democratization that the actual democracy born. For instance, the first time that democracy emerges in 2,500 years ago in ancient Greece. Okay, they are the one that tried to, they are the one that tried to practice, in Athens, practice direct democracy. They failed. They failed. Even Plato, criticized that democracy is not a good system. Aristotle said that democracy is actually worst of the worst system. Now we see the democracy again reborn in Western countries, in England, in France, and so forth. They tried to, live in democracy, practice it. They struggled with industrial revolution, with a French revolution, with, they struggled. They are the ones that established what we know human rights. What are we doing at that time? We were under, for myself, we were under the rule of Ottoman state, single man rule. So we don't know democracy.
Okay.
Well, the only thing that we know democracy is what we get from these countries which they practice democracy, what it should be.
Yes, right now the world is more focused on the liberal democracy, especially the one exported by the United States of America to other countries, or the type of democracy, if I would put it this way, copied from the United States of America by other countries, including my country, Nigeria.
Do you know, I usually tell my students, do you know something about computers? Hardware of a computer. You have motherboard, CPU, and so forth. Our hardware is Pentium. This is the first personal computers, Pentium. And we are trying to install Windows 11 onto it. Windows 11 is the democracy, but our hardware is nowhere near to run it.
The first computer.
So
that's an analogy. It's a comparison you're trying to make. What's the point?
What's the point? Democracy is not for us. Okay.
For us, when you say us, what do you mean?
I mean the developing countries, the third world countries, the countries which try to practice democracy, way after democracy, much more after democracy established. Democracy is the one that is created by the Western civilization. We are not Western civilization. Okay, that's why.
Are you saying that your country, Northern Cyprus, and the Turkey country, Turkiye, and African countries are supposed not to practice democracy, the liberal democracy?
Not suppose. The thing is, Turkey, Cyprus, whatever, we don't understand what the democracy is, what it stands for. And we are trying to practice it. So if you look to the third world countries, the practice of democracy is always corrupt.
Okay.
Much more corrupt than the Western countries' democracies. And even today, we are talking about dictatorial democracy.
Like
I don't wish to say, but you know, we can say Turkey, even Russia.
Okay.
Even
like
Russia.
Like Erdogan?
Yeah, I mean
of Turkey.
There is one leader in Turkey. One leader. We get used to live according to one leader, the chieftain of the tribe. One man rule. We, as you know, in this region, for centuries we live like that. For millennia we live like that.
Yeah. So is he a dictator, Erdogan?
In some respect, yes.
Okay. Do you believe he is? Looking at the facts.
He's you know, it's not my place to criticize another country's president or so forth, leader, but we have a strong connection now. Erdogan is an authoritarian person. He is authoritarian, and he is
looking at the characteristics. Looking at the characteristics set aside by experts of politics and international relations, is Erdogan an authoritarian leader?
Is there elections, free elections in Turkey? Yes. Is there free market in Turkey? Yes, but not so free. Everything. If we think about the human rights, there are also violations of human rights and so forth. So he is, in a sense, democratic, but he is an authoritarian democrat.
So you put it this way: he is an authoritarian democratic leader or dictatorial democratic leader. Is that what we call?
Not dictatorial, but authoritarian democrat.
Okay, so there are two different things. Is that what you call benevolent authoritarian? Would you describe him as such?
No, actually, he is not authoritarian. He is authoritarian democrat. There's a difference. Like when we are talking about direct democracy, representative democracy, and so forth, this is also a different version of it. Yes, there are certain elements of democracy, but there is also certain elements of authoritarian regime, but they are mixed well together. It's like China. China is a communist country, but it is also one of the capitalist countries that produce and send many goods to everywhere, isn't it? It is a mixture of capitalism and
socialism and communism.
Yeah, I mean, is it possible? No, but it is possible.
Okay. As an expert in this, do you think our countries, the third world countries like Nigeria, ours in Africa, in Asia and Middle East, do you think we would be better off under a strong leader like Xi Jinping of China or Vladimir Putin of Russia or President Recep Tayyip Erdogan of Turkey? Do you think so?
I'm going to come to the point of what Plato said. Okay. Plato criticized democracy. He indicates that if we wish to reach a perfect state, we need to have a king. But that king cannot be anyone. That king should be a philosopher king. Because a philosopher king know the best traits of the people and direct those people in more productive manner, more efficient manner. So under the philosopher king, we might able to reach a perfect city. This is what Plato said. And I am actually, in a sense, agreeing with him. The first thing is that if we try to give everyone the right to govern themselves, everyone will try to act according to their own interests.
Okay.
So there will be more clashes. But if there is a person which might able to act objectively, not like dictator, okay, not like a corrupt leader, but pure philosophically, then we might
somebody
able
with
to
pure intention.
Pure intention, yes, someone that is purer than anyone, which we cannot able to find anyone in this
Yes.
world. But if we find someone like that, it will be better. Okay.
And do you think Erdogan fits some of these characteristics and criteria?
Are you trying to kill me?
Am I trying to what?
Are you trying to kill me? I mean,
no.
Of course.
No, sir. We're trying to get to a point.
The point
you have
is,
set aside some criteria which
yeah,
are very, very important in having a
the thing
strong leader
is,
that the people need. Then I'm trying to get, because I gave you an example of three people: Chinese leader, Xi Jinping, Chinese president, Putin, and then Erdogan. Okay, let me put it this way: do they fit the criteria of Plato?
No, they don't.
Okay.
They don't fit.
But do they have some of the characteristics set by Plato?
No.
Okay. What then?
Plato talks about philosopher king.
Philosopher king.
Yeah, but they are tyrants, more like tyrants. Okay. Instead of using right person in right places, they are more looks to their own interests rather than the general interest. In our world today, there are no real bureaucrats. The leaders, they are not real, none of it. There is none.
When you say leaders, you mean all the leaders of the world?
Yeah, I mean, look to, for instance, Biden. He is the leader of the United States, but he is not actually in real charge.
So who is in charge if it is not Biden?
Interest of the United States is in charge. What is the interest of the United States? It is everything, actually. I mean, petrol. If you look at the Jewish people, Jewish lobby is another thing that controls the decisions of the United States. I mean, has huge effect, actually. I mean, there is a...
some would say this is in the interest of the United States and their people and its people. So it's like it's not a problem, since if the Americans are not happy with the system, they would stop paying tax. They would rebel against their leaders. But even during Trump administration, people did not rebel against the establishment or something like that. The system.
The system. Now, the thing is, in United States, what is the percentage of people that, participate in elections? 36? Okay, 36 maybe, 38?
30? In the 2020 election of Biden?
Yeah, 40? Okay. We are talking about less than half of a huge population participating and voting. And who won the election? Actually, more than half of that number. if 100 million people live in there, 40 million participate in, and only with 20 million votes, the president was elected. Who is going to rebel against it?
So you are saying even the democracy that's practiced in the United States of America is not the actual ideal democracy.
Yes, it's not.
That we have read in textbooks.
Yes, it's not. It's not.
Okay. So that begs
for
the
instance, United States talk about democracy and so forth, but at the same time, they try to install democracy to certain countries, but not other certain countries. Has a good relation with Saudi Arabia, but condemn Iran because it's not democracy. I mean,
okay. Are you saying that, okay, no, Iran is theocracy. Some people are saying that it's a mixture of religion in democracy, or they're practicing democracy under the system of religion,
Sharia law.
So are you saying that the United States is playing a double standard, having a good relations with Saudi Arabia, that is kingdom, monarchy, and some put it an authoritarian regime, and so on and so forth, but then does not want to have a relations with Iran that holds elections after every 4 or 5 years?
Well, Iran is an extreme condition. The enmity between Iran and the United States goes far back to 78 with, Iranian Revolution and the prisoners, hostages that they hold, the American hostages. So it is maybe different. It's not fit, but
and maybe the hatred between Iran and Israel that is playing a role.
There are many things. One of the things with Israel is now this is again complicated. We are talking about Middle East.
We will have time to talk about it some other time.
It's totally different. But what I am trying to say, every state in world act according to their own national interest. And that national interest is actually not the interest of the humankind, of human population, but it is the interest of certain human population. It is like, in democracy, it says that everyone equal, but some are more equal
than others.
Now, this is the problem. Okay, this is the problem in the world. Every state act according to their own interest. There is a documentary, Connie 2012. Connie 2012. I will send you the connection and watch it. Okay. In there, it shows, there's a situation in Congo, I believe, one of the African countries, which there's a terrorist person who kidnap kids and make them child soldiers, make them to kill their parents and so forth. There is some civil society organization trying to help this country, so they go to a senate. The senator reject them, say there is nothing we can do. They do a campaign, a campaign on internet and on social media. They make the Connie appeared and became noticed. After that, they collect a public into certain ideas, and when they pressurize it, then the senators say, okay, we are going to send 100 soldiers to give training to that country's thing. So it is like, as far as there is no interest, no one acts in the interest of others. And this is the problem in the whole world, in the whole, region and so forth. We are lacking the foresight of we are living in one country.
Okay.
Sorry, one world.
Okay. If you were to offer a solution in 1 minute, how would it be? How would we solve this issue of interest thing that you've been reiterating?
Well, first of all, we need to know something about reality, which every reality depends on our perspectives of time, space, and the context. Now, everyone's time, space, and context is different. There are many spaces, many times, and many different contexts that we live in. And we establish our knowledge and our realities according to these and from what we learn. If we wish to establish a more solid, peaceful environment, we need to understand this structure of how we construct reality. If we understand it, I mean, to know means to understand and to comprehend. You know, if we comprehend and understand this formula about how we construct knowledge, how we construct reality, then when we look to the other person, whether we are, whether our ideas is complete opposite, we need to accept that. We need to accept that the realities of that person, which is opposing us, is actually coming from their own life, their own experiences. So they might be right. If we accept that the person in front of us saying a truth, at least part of the truth, then we are more able to find a common point in agreeing on certain things.
Okay. Well, it has been a very, very interesting conversation talking to you, Dr. Cagil T Etkin, Assistant Professor and the Head of International Relations Department and International Law at RAUF, DENKTAS University, there in Lefkosa, the capital city of Cyprus, also known as North Nicosia. Well, thank you very much indeed, Doctor, for being on the show. It's really been interesting having you on board.
Thank you. Thank you. Same as here.
Yeah. What briefly can you say about me and about the interview style and the topics we have covered briefly?
Well, you know, the questions that you asked and you sent me the question, they are very interesting, very good questions to be asked. I mean, in one point, I saw myself giving interview to an reporter in CNN or something like that, you know. So it's really enjoyable. You are doing a great job.
All right. Thank you very much indeed. Your words mean a lot to me.